The music of Holst's The Planets has been used to conjure images of Martian canyons, crater-pocked moons of Uranus, Saturn's multi-hued rings, and Venus's murky clouds. It has evoked the serenity of the morning star, the gaseous blueness of Neptune, and the storm raging in Jupiter's red eye. As a soundtrack, it has accompanied spectacular images from the Cassini spacecraft, the space probes Galileo, Pioneer 10, Voyager 1 and 2, and the Hubble telescope. It would be hard to think of any work of art compared with Holst's The Planets, which is so famously associated with something it has nothing to do with. Holst had a powerful set of images in mind while composing The Planets, but they were not of the physical planets we know through modern astronomy or space exploration, nor was he thinking primarily of the Roman gods who gave their names to the planets of our solar system. His inspiration came instead from the planetary archetypes, concepts of form, energy, personality, and behavior associated with the planets since antiquity. Holst was concerned not with outer space, but with inner space, with the psyche, and with essential aspects of experience that are common to all human beings. In a word, astrology. According to astrological principles, we are ruled by the same laws that govern the cosmos. As the planets are the celestial bodies closest to us physically, they exert the greatest influence on us. Holst had encountered 2 volumes on astrology by Alan Leo, whose description of planetary influences struck him as powerful symbols of human experience, symbols he found reflected in myth, in art, and in human history. Since the 5 planets of the solar system closest to the Earth are observable without the aid of magnification, they, together with the Sun and the Moon, were the only planets known to the ancients. Interpretations of their energies and influences constitute the foundation of the astrological tradition, beginning in prehistoric times. These interpretations continued to develop throughout antiquity, the medieval era, the Renaissance, and the Enlightenment, right up to the present moment. They are evident not only in astrological practices and commentary, but also in art, in literature, in the development of scientific reasoning, and in the evolution of religious thought. Mars, for example, is the Roman god of war. The planet is assumed to have been named Mars because of its blood-red color, the intensity of its luminosity, and its dominance in the night sky. Martian energy is thought to be active, energetic, assertive, forceful, and aggressive. But the outer planets were discovered only with the aid of technology, and the astrological tradition that has emerged to include them is of a very different nature. The various tendencies ascribed to these more recently discovered planets have emerged over a much shorter period of time. With William Herschel's stunning discovery of Uranus in 1781, using a telescope of his own design, the ancient 6-planet model was effectively obliterated. Uranus was found to be twice as distant from the Sun as Saturn, and to many at the time, it put the final nail in the coffin of a discredited astrological hierarchy that dated back to the time of Plato and before. That tradition was part of a philosophical and scientific worldview that was already on shaky ground in the face of advances made during the scientific revolution and the progressive ideals of the Enlightenment. These ancient assumptions had already been widely dismissed by a new generation of thinkers inspired by Sir Isaac Newton. Richard Tarnas, author of a fascinating book called Cosmos and Psyche, and an authority whom I have consulted in the past in preparing performances of this work, has suggested that as the new planets were discovered, their manifest aspects took on characteristics of the age in which they were discovered, rather than the traits of the gods for whom they were named. Take Uranus, for example. Its archetype is widely understood to be the principle of change, of liberation, of the unpredictable, and the upsetting of the old order. "1781 was a time of revolution, as the West was undergoing enormous social and political upheaval. Innovations in technology created the sparks that ignited the Industrial Revolution. The rights of the individual were newly proclaimed, as in the Declaration of Independence, and of course there was a complete upsetting of the political order of the day, as seen in the French and American revolutions. 65 years later, Neptune was discovered, at the height of what's called the Romantic Age. In astrology, Neptune is associated with myth, art, and religion, with spirituality and mysticism, with idealism and utopianism, with dreams and the imagination. Its tendencies coincide with a period when new religious movements were spawned to an unprecedented degree, when utopianism and universalism spread widely, when the voice of the artist enjoyed almost unprecedented prominence, from Richard Wagner to Walt Whitman, from the Impressionist painters to the Symbolist poets, coinciding with the birth of Sigmund Freud and the growing emphasis on the unconscious. All these influences, tendencies, insights, and emotions are captured in Holst's 7-movement exploration of the planets. The emotional and psychological dimensions of human contemplation are uniquely expressible in music, and there is no music that evinces the power and mystery of our solar system like Gustav Holst's symphonic masterpiece, The Planets.